From this road trip, 3-1, I imagine that's encouraging in most ways. As you know, are you more optimistic than when you left?
Well, I thought we played well. I mean, obviously it's tough to win on the road in the NBA. It doesn't matter who you're playing, but you know, I thought we found a way where we didn't play our best basketball to still come up with a win. And even the last game, I thought, you know, we hung in, and just didn't make a couple of plays down the stretch that could have put us in a winning situation. And you also got to give them credit. I thought, you know, anytime they needed the basket, DeRozan did a good job of either finding the open guy or getting the basket himself. So, but I thought I think anytime you're on the road and in the last 2 minutes you give yourself an opportunity to win the game, you're still playing pretty good. We just didn't come through. If you look at the stat sheet, you know, we shoot almost 54%, 42 from 3, you know, 31 assists. You know, those kind of numbers right there should get you a win, you know, in that situation. But we turned the ball over a little bit too much, and then the offensive rebounding, I think, took its toll on us.
Was it good to see Drew kind of break out the way he did last night?
Yeah, but I told you guys right before, I'm not worried about Drew. You know, he'll find his way, you know, and he's going to have some good games like he did last night, and he's going to struggle some, but at the end of the day, he'll hit a stride where he's pretty consistent every night in what he's doing.
Is it important to show opponents, though, that if they shade on AD or they shade on Marcus, that Drew can hurt him and light him up for 30 plus?
I think that it's important to know that if they do that there's someone's going to step up and make shots, and we've done it before. The few games back, it was Ochsner that ended up with like 25 points. So we've got to be able to. They've got to be able to understand that if they're going to try to play us where they take those guys completely away, that we do have the ability for other people to step up.
Do you think you're finding different ways to give them the ball as well, kind of throwing some in the post, cutting off the screens and that type of thing?
Well, yeah, but we've had all of that. But, you know, the big guys have gone great in the way Toronto played us. We had to go away from some of the things that we did. And so we have that ability to put Drew in the post or isolate him and do some things where he's, you know, he can be really effective.
Played 80 your first 12 on the road. The 2 home games were Cleveland and Golden State. I mean, it was a tough stretch by most standards when you looked at those first 12. Is 6-6 better than you know a normal 6-6 would be, given those considerations?
Yeah, I don't really look at it that. You know, Scott, I think you know your record is what it is, and at the end of the day, we're going to play the same 82 games that everybody in the West is going to play, really. And so I just think you know, anytime you play at home, I do think that we have to continue to try to establish ourselves at home. You know, where we've got a good home record and then try to find a way to win some games on the road. Obviously, we played pretty good on the road, but you know, it is tough when you obviously when you start the season with the NBA champs and then the runner-ups. You know, that's 2 games that's really, really difficult. And then you play a real upstart Minnesota team that, you know, they're going to have their ups and downs, but on the nights where they're really good, you know, those young kids are going to step up and they can play with anybody in the league. So we just got to, like I said, we still have to make it about us and not about anybody else. We have to establish that consistency on what we're going to be doing defensively and offensively, and you know, we got to monitor our turnovers and do a good job of taking some of those. You know, there's good turnovers and there's bad turnovers. We had too many live bad turnovers that have led to baskets, and we've got to take those away from them.
And after playing all of those road games, is it good to kind of have a stretch where you're at home now? You can kind of start figuring things out just to practice.
Yeah, I think anytime you play at home in this league, because it's real difficult to win on the road, and so I think anytime you play at home, you got to really try to lock in and be focused and try to take care of business at home, like I said, because you know, losing home games put you really behind the 8 ball. You know, you got to go out and try to win on the road, and like I said, that's really difficult in this league.
You had mentioned the 17th as a possibility for Rondo. Is that still the track that you're on right now? Is that still
I mean, I think somewhere in there. I don't know if we've got an exact date, but you know, somewhere in that area right there, we'll try to target, you know, him to come back if everything still remains the same and he continues to, you know, with the progress that he's making right now.
And Josh Smith, I know that was a situation where he gets waived today. Was that just a matter of minutes and guys kind of playing?
Yeah, we just had. It's tough because we really didn't have a role for him, and you know, it was one of those deals where, you know, obviously our big guys play a lot of minutes. You know, if we can, we'd like to get Chet on the floor a few minutes. So it was one of those deals where we just wanted to give him an opportunity to maybe end up somewhere else if he could.
I know it's still early in the season and those guys are young, but is there a point where you kind of have to start monitoring their minutes and kind of say, we got to start?
Yeah, we'd like to do that, and we talked about that. Actually, we talked about that yesterday on the plane, and we talked about it today, where, you know, they're not playing, guys. You know, they're not playing. They're playing an average of 38 minutes. You know, which, you know, the difference between the first guy and the fifth guy in the NBA as far as minutes played is like 0.3 or something. So, you know, it's not like they're playing 43 minutes and somebody else is playing 35. We would like to get them to the point where we could get them to 35 minutes. That would be great, but, you know, it's a catch-22. You know, I can get them to 32 if that'll please you guys now, you know, but I'm not sure, you know, where that puts us in the win-loss column. So, and they understand that, and we try to monitor that, and we try to do it through timeouts where, you know, we try to take one with the 7-minute timeout coming. Obviously, you try to get one of those guys out of the game, you know, at the 8-minute mark where, you know, actual time sitting is probably 5 minutes or so. So that's one of the things that we're trying to do. And if we could, we would try to do all we can to, you know, to cut down their minutes as much as we can. And a lot of time we'd like to put them in for a few minutes and take them out and do everything we can. But we need them on the floor. You know, when those two guys are on the floor, we're one of the two most efficient offensive teams in the league. All right.